Hi guys!
Hello.
So we're here with Despina. Despina Pavlou is the founder of PCOS Nutrition, and she's a certified personal trainer as well. She was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome at the age of 18, and she will tell us her story of how she overcame that. And now she is spreading the word around PCOS.
Yep. Thanks for having me on this live. Excited to raise awareness about PCOS and just help as many women as I can understand PCOS and start to heal themselves naturally, because it can be done. So yeah.
Absolutely. So tell us, first of all, what is PCOS? What is important for us to know what it is? And
PCOS is short for polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's a common endocrine disorder affecting between 5 to 10% of women over reproductive age. But while I say 5 to 10%, it could actually be even more, possibly 10 to 20, because while it's such a common condition, a lot of women do not get the diagnosis because either they don't know about it and they just think it's just symptoms that they just have to live with and put up with, or they're just kind of embarrassed or afraid to visit a doctor and tell them about the symptoms that they're suffering from. So PCOS is a hormonal imbalance, so this is where you're producing too much androgens, and therefore also your female hormones like your estrogen and progesterone are all out of balance, and therefore you have to get to the root cause of this hormone imbalance. In order to treat PCOS, you cannot just focus on either of these symptoms, such as weight gain or insulin resistance, infertility, acne, irregular absent periods, hair loss, hair thinning. These are all the symptoms associated with it, but you need to get to the root cause, which is the hormone imbalance, in order to fully heal your body and take back control from PCOS. So that's basically what PCOS is in a nutshell.
Nice, thank you very much for sharing. And how did your journey started? So when were you diagnosed with PCOS?
So yeah, growing up, I never really suffered from any of these symptoms I mentioned, such as hormonal acne on the jawline. I never had that. I never suffered from weight gain or trouble losing weight. I was always very lean, thin, petite and all that stuff. I never had hair loss or hair thinning, insulin resistance. I never had these common symptoms a lot of women with PCOS suffer from, giving them an indication that something's wrong with them. I never had that. And my lifestyle was all, I was eating healthy, good food, good nutrition. I was exercising. I was very athletic. I was into football. I was playing football every day for hours on end. So I was very fit and athletic. But then my lifestyle started to change once I started college at the age of 18, when the stress of college and stuff going on in my personal life kind of took a toll on me, and I went through a bit of a negative mental state, a bit of depression, and that's when I completely stopped exercising. I threw out all my healthy eating out the window. I was eating unhealthy, overeating, emotional eating from all the depression. So my lifestyle completely changed, and as you can obviously imagine, I did gain some weight from this lifestyle. So I went from being athletic and slim, thin and all that stuff to, being a little bit, putting on some weight, and everybody noticed it, and it was a bit upsetting to see that going from one body type and everybody noticing kind of messes with you psychologically.
Yeah, and it's natural because you also lose self-confidence, which is a big part of how I feel. I mean, our bodies is a big confident booster. I guess if you feel confident, you also show that.
Yeah. So my lifestyle changed. I was emotionally eating, as I mentioned. Never done that before, so it was all a bit weird, unexpected, and then so. Because I gained some weight, my nutrition was poor, gained some weight, but I also lost my period. So I did get my period at a somewhat normal age. I was 13, fairly regular, not like every month, but it was okay. It was, it wasn't bad, but it was heavy, which is somewhat an indication that maybe, something is wrong. But it's not until all these factors where I gained weight and I lost my period, these were like alarm bells ringing. When you lose your period or it becomes very irregular, you need to think something's going wrong. It's not healthy. So I lost my period, and then I started getting this red rash on my abdomen and my chest, and I was like, something's wrong here. That's when I was like, okay, I need to go to the doctor. I need to sort myself out. This is bad. And doctor said, okay, when you tell them I lost my period, they go, okay, they think it might be PCOS. So they look at a symptom and they try and treat the symptom. So he done before he diagnosed me with PCOS, he done the necessary tests. So there's 4 tests: a physical examination and medical history questions about I don't know, about my parents, or if I have any health problems that I know of. He weighed me, done my blood pressure. That all came back. My blood pressure was fine. It was only until we done a blood test and an ultrasound, which gave him the indication that I had PCOS, because the hormone test results came back that I had elevated testosterone or some kind of hormone that gave him the indication that I might have PCOS. And then the ultrasound, which is another test that you have to do to be diagnosed with PCOS, came back as I had a lot of cysts on my ovaries. Now these cysts are not actually cysts, they're just follicles that have not been released from the ovary because of no ovulation happening.
Okay.
So they're not really cysts, but I had cysts, and that was like a indication that I had PCOS. So in order to be diagnosed with PCOS, you have to have 2 out of the 3. High androgens, number 2 is irregular periods, and number 3 is polycystic ovaries. So I basically had all 3. So I had PCOS.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then when you're diagnosed with PCOS, a lot of the time, and in my case, women are told, here's the birth control pill. There's no cure, but you can treat it with the birth control pill. So I was given the oral hormonal contraceptive pill, the birth control pill, to balance my hormones, give me a period, and sort everything out. So he gave me that. I was on it for 15 months, kept changing it because I was experiencing a bunch of side effects on all of them. I was getting a period, but it's not a real period. I'm going to repeat, it's not a real period, because the birth control pill does not get to the root cause of PCOS. It doesn't actually balance your hormones. Because you're taking in these synthetic hormones, your glands stop working and they stop producing the necessary hormones. So they take a back seat because they're like, we're getting hormones. I don't have to work anymore. I'm going to go on a break.
I see.
So you're not treating that hormone imbalance. So also, just because you're getting a period, it's not a real period. It's a breakthrough bleed. So every time you stop, when you stop the pill, that blood, that bleed, is just a breakthrough bleed. So it's not real. It's just a mechanical bleed that happens every time you stop the pill for a week or however long it was. So I was on it for 15 months, experienced side effects such as panic attacks, which I never experienced ever before in my life, bloating, fluid retention, depression, mood swings. Also, and the final thing I experienced that made me completely want to come off was the swelling of my left calf, which is a possible indication of thrombosis. And from further research, some other women experienced the same thing as me, and I was like, okay, thank God I stopped, otherwise God knows what's going to happen. But the pill does, a side effect, it does cause blood clotting, so your increased chance of getting thrombosis or stroke or stuff like that. So it's got a lot of negative side effects to it. So that's why I don't really like I don't like it when doctors recommend the birth control pill, because it doesn't, number one, it doesn't get to the root cause of PCOS, it doesn't balance your hormones or help your period, and it doesn't, and it's got a lot of side effects. So
Yeah, and you're right, and we were discussing this earlier as well. Some people will express side effects more intensely than some other people.
Yeah. So
And for some other people, the pills would work actually.
yeah, some
And
people.
for others, they won't.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that pills and medication don't have their place. They do have their place. It just
Come a little bit closer.
it depends. It just depends on what kind of dose you take. It's often too much estrogen that causes the problems in the body, with like the blood clotting, or even like problems with the gut. It can affect digestion, which I noticed as well. So it affects the friendly gut bacteria in your body, and just all that stuff depletes your body of vitamins and minerals. Thankfully, I actually knew this, and I was supplementing with. We'll talk about this in another question, but I was supplementing with vitamins and minerals because it depletes your body of a lot of vitamins and minerals. And yeah, so like you said, they do have their place, and some people do find it does help. Other people notice really bad side effects. So you just gotta listen to your body, and if it's affecting you, affecting you, stop it. But I mean, there is other ways to treat your PCOS, and like I say, it doesn't actually treat your PCOS.
And since we are on the subject, how do you, I guess, how can someone treat their PCOS?
So
how should we go about it? How did you go about it, actually?
So for me, as soon as I came off the birth control pill, I was like, that's it. I didn't know who to trust, who to listen to. That's it. I said, I'm not visiting any more doctors, because this doctor gave me the birth control pill. I went to another specialist endocrinologist who said, it's fine if you have 4 periods a year, you're perfectly healthy, don't worry about it. I went to another one, he was like, yeah, lose a couple of pounds maybe, and, take this birth control pill, I've got this one. I was like, that's it, that's enough. So I started doing my own research, looked into PCOS, what it is, exactly, nutrition, what diet can I be taking, what exercise do other people recommend that I can maybe try and just experiment and adjust, because obviously no one knows anything about PCOS or the best thing to do. So I decided to go back to the way I used to eat, the way I used to train, the way I used to live before starting college and going through the whole depression and everything. So I went back to eating whole foods that have been minimally processed and are generally free from artificial substances and additives. And I was, just eating foods that are nutritionally dense and just nourish your body.
And I guess it's worth saying, because your background is a Greek background, so you were eating mainly foods that were Mediterranean based?
Yeah, so I was eating lots of like beans and legumes and lean proteins, a lot of fish and salmon predominantly, because it's got a lot of omega-3, which has anti-inflammatory properties, which you want, because women with PCOS suffer from have underlying inflammation, so you have to get to the root and make sure you're having a lot of foods that have a lot of anti-inflammatory properties to reduce the inflammation, helping with the symptoms, helping to balance your hormones and heal your body. So that was what I was basically eating. Lots and lots of vegetables and fruits. A lot of people tend to avoid fruit because it's got sugar in it, but you don't have to avoid fruit, because the fiber and vitamins and minerals kind of prevent you going increasing your blood sugar and then your insulin, which is what women with PCOS want to prevent. So there's nothing wrong with eating fruits. Just if you're worried about the sugar content, go for more berries and cherries. Stuff like apples as well have they have a lower glycemic index, so they don't increase your blood sugar.
Then it's because obviously there's a lot of juices with fruit, so maybe avoid those ones and eat more fruit in their natural state.
Yeah, because you'll make sure it has the fiber intake, which will help with the release of sugar. Because obviously if there's no fiber, there's no vitamins and minerals, because everything's been taken out, whatever, that's what's causing what's going to cause your body to increase your blood sugar, and it's going to get you to have that really bad drop in energy levels, and that's what makes people like.
So you can crash. Yeah,
crash.
exactly.
So with fruit that has fiber, vitamins, and minerals, you don't get that really bad drop. It's kind of like you get a drop, but it's not too bad, basically.
Yeah, because it just manages how your blood sugar.
Yeah, so it's not spike and then drop. Like if you eat a muffin, it's gonna be like you're gonna be like completely out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's like that completely fast digested sugars, and that's what you want to be minimizing or even avoiding, basically.
Yeah. Because besides what Despina says, it also doesn't keep you satiated for longer.
Yeah.
So if you eat something that, like for example, that spikes your blood sugar and then it crushes it, that it keeps you, I guess, full in quotation marks, full just for like 30 minutes maximum. But if you eat something that has fiber, that has fats, that will keeps you satiated for... Yeah, that keeps you satiated for much longer.
Energy's released slowly, so you don't get that increase in that crash. It's just released very slowly. You've got constant energy. You feel full all the time because that fiber is helping.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with carbs. It's just about what carbs, because that's another factor women with PCOS are afraid. Because a lot of the time doctors say avoid carbs. Carbs are bad. Carbs make you fat. Carbs do this, all this thing. It's not. It's the type of carbs you eat. There's nothing wrong with carbs. It's about the type. So go for complex carbohydrates, beans, legumes, brown rice, or if it's a white rice, quinoa, buckwheat, all this other complex carbohydrates that are better options. So carbs aren't bad. Make sure you're eating plenty of fats. Fats are so important for hormones and healing your hormones, as well as meat as well. But just go for the good quality lean protein that hasn't been injected with hormones and antibiotics.
And the easiest way, I guess, to do that is just making sure that you go to, for example, to your meat producer. Instead of going to like a supermarket, just go to someone that specializes and actually make the question and ask
so you
the
can
person.
Go like organic or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a bit more expensive, but
this is worth the while.
Yeah, if you want to heal yourself, you got to make some kind of sacrifices sometimes.
Yeah.
But so there's nothing wrong with carbs. Make sure you get a lot of fat, fruits, vegetables. Those are the macronutrients, micronutrients that you need.
Yeah.
But also make sure that you're eating enough food as well, because a lot of the time women try to
do a little.
They go really low calorie dieting because they're trying to lose weight, but that doesn't help with your hormones either, because that puts too much stress on your body, too much production of cortisol. So make sure you're eating enough food and the right food.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay, well said. What about supplements?
So yeah, like I mentioned, when I was on the birth control pill, I was taking certain supplements because I knew it depleted your body of vitamins and minerals. But when I came off it, I was still taking certain vitamins and minerals because because now there's these changes in our environment and the fact that our soils are being depleted of the minerals that we used to have back in the day. You need to make sure that you're supplementing with external sources like a pill or something, because nowadays a lot of us are actually deficient in a lot of minerals and vitamins. So like supplements are not bad. You just got to know which supplements you need to be taking, and making sure that you're not taking in too many supplements, because taking in too many of one vitamin can have adverse effects on your health. So finding out maybe which ones the majority of us are deficient in. Like we will need omega-3, we will need magnesium, we will need some zinc, all these vitamins and minerals we all need because our soils are depleted and just all this stuff. So you need those. And yeah, so there's nothing wrong with supplements.
So I guess you do recommend for people to first go and do some blood tests to make sure, first of all, what they're depleted of, and then being able to supplement that, right?
Yeah, because if you take too many, you might be taking like vitamin A or something, but you might be getting too much of vitamin A, and vitamin A can have adverse effects on your body, and you don't actually need that supplement because you're getting enough from your food, for example. So you just gotta, just don't overdo it. I see a lot of people on Instagram who have like a whole handful of supplements. You're like, do you actually need all of those? Or you're just taking it because someone said this helped me, or because it looks nice and I want to have it.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I have heard of quite a few people actually that take lots of supplements, but I think this is also because you don't know that actually you can get it from food, or I mean, a lot of people, they don't like to eat vegetables or fruit, so they say, okay, I'll just take supplements. It's not the same thing. Because fruits and vegetables, they, in their natural form, they know exactly what your body needs, and it provides it, because they don't just have one type of vitamin or one type of mineral. They have various. So they then feed your body what it really needs. Right? So it's very important for you to eat your fruit and veggies. So don't use supplements only to get your, I guess, whatever you're deficient in. But supplements are important if you have a serious deficiency, like D3, for example, vitamin D3, which is the sun.
D3,
most of my clients, they're deficient in D3, so it's definitely something that you should consider.
There are certain supplements women with PCOS should be taking, like magnesium. I personally take that as well, because depending on what type of PCOS you have, if you have insulin-resistant PCOS or adrenal, if, for example, if you eat too much sugar, you're kind of excreting too much magnesium, so you need to supplement that back in some way. Or if you're always chronically stressed, your adrenals are using so much magnesium that you need to supplement that back. So it's just, your body uses vitamins and minerals, so you have to make sure you're supplementing them back. Obviously, I said omega-3, you need that because it's anti-inflammatory, helps with your hormones. Vitamin D3, a lot of women with PCOS are deficient in. And another one's inositol. A lot of women who are insulin resistant, it's believed that women with PCOS kind of excrete it too much, or just don't use it properly. So it's a good idea to possibly supplement with inositol.
Okay. But this is, like, in general, do they need to speak to a professional?
I'd say it depends what type of PCOS you have. So visit a doctor before you do take inositol. There's nothing wrong with taking omega-3. Omega-3 is perfectly fine, magnesium as well. But yeah, there are certain supplements that are more specific to the type of PCOS you have as well.
Nice. Okay. What about exercise?
So,
is there a specific training that you can do when you have PCOS?
Again, like with anything, diet, supplements, it also depends upon the type of PCOS you have, and just, you know, the type of like what you enjoy. So I personally follow resistance training coupled with high intensity interval training, but I also do low intensity interval training like walking, you know, jogging, just mild stuff as well. But resistance training is great for women with PCOS who suffer from insulin resistance, because it allows, research shows that it helps lower testosterone levels and increase insulin sensitivity, along with high intensity interval training is also great. So these two exercises are great for insulin resistant PCOS, resistance training and high intensity interval training. So when you're doing high intensity interval training, because your body needs that energy, you end up giving your muscles that glucose, that energy, so it's not like kind of floating around, it's just staying in your bloodstream. Because women with PCOS, insulin resistance is around 70% of women with PCOS suffer from this type of PCOS.
Okay.
While adrenal PCOS is about 20 to 30% or something like that. So that this type is more popular and more common. So always find out what type of PCOS you have, because if you do high intensity interval training and you have adrenal PCOS, you're completely screwing up. You're not helping yourself at all. You're not healing yourself, because high intensity interval training produces a lot of cortisol, puts a lot of stress on your body, and if you're someone who's already producing higher amounts of cortisol, doing high intensity interval training,
it's just worsens the situation.
So you need to do low intensity interval training, which doesn't produce so much cortisol, too much stress on the body, just low, like maybe walking, swimming, yoga, and any type of low intensity training
would be a much better option.
Would be a much better option. So it's all dependent on what type of PCOS you have. It's all personalized. There's no standard approach. You need to find out that first before you do anything else to treat it.
Absolutely. Interesting. That's really interesting. I think this is very useful just to understand that depending on what PCOS you have, you also need to exercise accordingly to avoid worsening your situation in order to heal yourself, which is super, super important. So, Despina, I was wondering, what made you decide to help other in the PCOS? I know that you've been through this. How come this is such an important message that you want? Because your mission is actually to increase awareness around PCOS.
So, my mission is to raise awareness about PCOS and prevent women going down the same route that I did of being forced or feeling like they have to go on the birth control pill because this is supposedly going to treat me, but it actually ends up making you worse. So I want to prevent them thinking they have to go down that route, but give them other healthier alternatives and to heal through nutrition, lifestyle, exercise. I want them to know that there's this way, but also doctors who don't know much about nutrition often say, follow this diet, restrict this, go low, lose weight, so you have to cut back. I had one client who said to me, my doctor told me to have 1,300 calories, but also on top of that, I have to burn about 500 calories. How many more calories are going to stay in your body? You're not going to have, how are you going to heal yourself if you're eating super low calorie? There's no way. Your body doesn't have enough calories, energy, nutrients to help support your body to heal. So that's one thing. I want them to know that there's another approach, and it's not about low calorie diet, it's not about restrictive diets, it's about feeding your body right, with good nutritious foods, but also enough food to help support your body to heal. And also, because there's so much awareness going on about PCOS in America, which is so good, there's not much, or if anything, going on in the UK to help raise awareness about PCOS. So I want to help, pioneer it or something in the UK to just help the UK say, PCOS.
We can do this. We can heal ourselves.
Yes. Let's help the doctors figure out what PCOS is so we can all live happy and healthy.
Oh, that's nice.
But
that's really nice.
I just want them to know, there's better ways to treat it, and they're not alone. You're not alone if you have PCOS. There's a whole community out there to support you. There's so much information, and
Let me see. I think there's someone that's just sent a message. So, I was diagnosed with PCOS a few years ago, and I was told to take the pill. I wish I knew better. Okay, thank you, Katarina, for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
So she always, because I know Katarina, she's really, really healthy. And so this is what she says. So she was told to take the pill, but actually there was healthier way of healing yourself. Thank you, Katarina, for sharing.
Yeah, that the pill, I always say it. I posted about this recently about, that it was the biggest regret I ever made taking the birth control pill. I got a bunch of comments, people saying, I agree with you, it was the worst, I wish I'd never done it, and other people saying, what are you talking about? It was the best thing I ever did, it helped me so much. And like we said, it does help some people, you just got to know of the side effects, and that there is other ways, and the fact that it doesn't actually treat the problem. You need to make sure you get to the root cause.
Absolutely. Nice. And how can someone find you?
So, you can obviously find me at PCOSnutrition.com. That's my website. I have a podcast, which is PCOSnutrition.com. It's on iTunes, SoundCloud, and I also have the links to the audio on my website, YouTube channel, PCOSnutrition.com, and all my social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What else is there?
Yeah, and some of them we'll share actually. We'll share your website, your YouTube channel, and your podcast. So if this is something that you're really interested in, definitely go ahead and check her out because she's doing a great job. If you're very, during your commute, you can definitely, if you listen to podcasts, this is something that you can do. You can listen to her podcast. She's doing a great job.
Yeah, so much valuable information. Not just from me, I get experts on as well, just like Christina does. She gets people on.
Yeah.
So just people that are experts in the field of nutrition, PCOS as well. I'm no expert, so that's why I get better doctors on.
To help out.
Yeah, we help out, spread the message. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and thank you very much, Despina, for sharing your knowledge.
Thanks for having me on.
And yeah, bye, guys. We'll see you later.